The sun was warm that morning, but neither dog could see it. The wind carried scents of summer grass and distant trees. But it wasn't the world outside that guided them, it was the bond between them. Max had lost his sight after an untreated infection as a pup, sheltered, unsure, and alone. He would often sit pressed against the cold wall of the kennel, unmoving, afraid to step without direction. His world had gone dark far too early, and with it, his confidence had vanished too. That changed when Bella arrived. Bella was also blind-born without eyes, but unlike Max, her spirit was light. She moved with an eerie sense of direction, relying on the tiniest cues, the slope of the ground, the sound of wind between trees, the scent of something as simple as a flower. She had lived blind her whole life, and the darkness was not a prison, it was simply her canvas. At first, Max didn't understand Bella. She would nudge him gently, paw the ground in front of him as if asking him to step forward. He'd freeze, but she never gave up. Every morning she would return, brush against his fur, and walk a few steps ahead, then stop. Waiting one day. Something shifted. The shelter workers were late to bring food, and Max, hungry and restless, lifted his head. Bella was already standing by the corner, ears perked, tail wagging. She turned as if she sensed his movement. He stood. He took one hesitant step forward, and Bella took one too. That morning, Max walked more than he had in weeks. Not alone, never alone, but following Bella, the gentle rhythm of her paws ahead of his, the quiet rustle of her movements, his only map. Every time he faltered, Bella paused. Every time he froze, she nudged him softly. It became their daily ritual. They were two dogs who could not see the world, but they showed each other how to feel it. When volunteers visited, they'd often stop and cry softly watching them. A girl once whispered, "It's like watching trust made real." Another said, "She's his guide, and maybe he's hers too." One rainy afternoon, the power went out at the shelter. The lights blinked off, casting the room into pitch black. Staff panicked slightly, fumbling for phones and flashlights. But in the center of the room, two shadows moved gracefully, dashed together. Max and Bella weaved through the dark with ease. Max no longer hesitated. The lack of light didn't matter to them, it never had. They found each other by scent, sound, and something deeper, loyalty without condition. News of the blind duo spread through a local rescue page. A photo of them curled up together, nose to nose, melted hearts online. Hundreds commented, begging to adopt them, but only together. An older couple, Marianne and Joel, drove across 2 states to meet them. When they arrived, Bella walked directly toward Joel's gentle voice. Max followed her like always, brushing against her side as they reached the humans. Joel knelt, and Max placed his head in his lap. No fear, no flinching. Just trust. "I think they chose us," Marianne whispered, wiping away tears. Their new home was a quiet cottage near the woods. The couple had lost their previous dog to old age, and grief had left their home empty. But Max and Bella filled it with a presence beyond vision, an energy of peace, devotion, and shared resilience. Joel built them a sound-guided path in the backyard, tiny wind chimes and soft bells marking turns, low fences guiding touch. But most of the time, they didn't need it. Bella still led, and Max still followed. Sometimes, they switched. Sometimes, they simply sat pressed side by side, breathing in the world together. They had never seen a rainbow, a star, or each other, but they had felt something far greater, the certainty of belonging. At night, when the house fell quiet, Marianne would sit by the fire with both dogs asleep at her feet. She often whispered stories, knowing they couldn't see her smile, but somehow, they seemed to know. One evening, a thunderstorm rattled the sky, the lights flickered, and Max whimpered. Bella rose, nudging him softly as if saying, "I'm here." He stopped, trembling. In a world without sight, their friendship was their light. Dog leads dog, not with eyes, but with love. And that is how they walk, through a world they can't see, but feel, together. Forever.